Um, Hello, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for coming tonight to an evening with KOMA Elektronik. My name is Wouter Jaspers. Here next to me is Chrissy Zollner, Robert Koens over there, Benjamin Hughes, and then we have somewhere around here is also the last one.
No, he's sleeping.
Oh, the last one's sleeping upstairs. That's Otto. He's a bit hungover after 4 days of NAM, so please excuse him for not being here. Thank you all for coming. Thanks to Perfect Circuit for setting up the show. We're very happy to be here tonight to show you some of the stuff that we've been working on for the past 5 years. 6 years actually, this coming March. We exist for 6 years. Tonight we're gonna be telling you about our machines, obviously. We're gonna be performing a little bit. And we brought our friends from Chicago. The present L, where are they? They're behind it. And over there. The present elders will be here. They will be performing tonight for all of you. If you have any questions, later on we'll be doing a little Q&A where you can pretty much ask us anything. If we don't want to answer it, we'll tell you. But that doesn't happen too often. There's a big bass drum from the other room coming. It's our friends from Bitwig. Who are showing their version 2 of their new software, Bitwig Studio. And if you want to check it out, and I would highly recommend it, at any time tonight, when you feel like it, go in there and meet some more Berliners. Okay, we brought a bunch of stuff tonight to show to you. First of all, the field kit. This little box over here. We have been running a Kickstarter for it the last month. Which was very successful, which is awesome. It's a little box for electroacoustic experimentation. We'll be showing it to you. You can also try it out later yourself. And we're going to use it in a little performance so you can kind of see how you can, work it in there and make it into a nice piece of a nice additional piece of gear on the table. Over here we have the complex sequencer. We put it out here in LA. We released it around 2 years ago. It's a huge sequencer with a lot of power. We would love to show you also a bit how that goes. We have new cases about that. Our colleague Robert will tell a little bit more later. And we have a new power system, which is of course incredibly boring to talk about. But it is very important, so we want to take a few minutes of your time to talk power. Also, if you have questions about that, it's always fun to talk about power. Maybe first, before we start with all the gear, it's nice to talk about who we are and how we got together as a company, because there's many different ways how 5 guys end up in LA. But this one is definitely the music. I met Christian now 6 years ago in Amsterdam at the STIM Institute, the Institute for Experimental Electronic Music. We both were musicians, recording material, performing a lot, both living in Berlin. And we kind of wanted to do something else than being on stage. We were already designing our own machines for ourselves and for our friends. But we thought it was time for something different. And that was when we made these pedals that are lying here on the table, the BD101 and the FT201, our first products, modular effects pedals that you can use in any type of studio setup. And from there on, we started to grow our business and we got to know more people, and we came for the first time to NAM and we went for the first time to the Musikmesse. And things started growing. So we started also doing modular. We brought out a modular filter. We brought out the Poltergeist, a quadraphonic audio mixer. And by now we have grown to a group of 10 people all working in the center of Berlin. We have our own little shop called Common Ground, which is a DIY a DIY laden, like they say in Germany. Place you can go to and build stuff. We have a bunch of kits of modules. We have Arduino boards, and we have also a bunch of tables where people can come at any time of the day, fix their own stuff. We will help them or build things, or design something with their friends. We have machines where people can make their own front panels on, where they can 3D print something, drill something, and it's very much a part of our office as well. We all work there at least once a week, and it's super nice to get to know everybody in the neighborhood. It's now just like a half a year old, but so far super nice as an addition to what we do. Normally soldering hunched over benches. Yeah, it's very nice to to be with like-minded people. And besides that, we have a little tape label called Amok Tapes, and I believe that Perfect Circuit is at this very moment the only USA store that actually has them in stock. So we're very grateful for that, guys. Thanks. But Amok Tapes is your go-to spot for industrial Berlin techno. Check it out. We have some stickers also lying around here for if you're into that stuff, All right. Any questions so far? Like pre Q&A questions? Everybody can understand me properly?
Yeah, everyone's nodding.
Yeah, it's a good crowd. We were at NAMM the past 4 days, and this much silence over there is just, you won't find it. So every time when I hear like loud music around me, it's like, we were in a booth with almost 30 modular makers, and they all like to make sure that everybody hears them very well. Tonight the source will of the noise source will be just one thing, so it's still you can see what's happening. Shall we play a little bit with the field kit and the sequencer?
Play a little bit with the field kit and the sequencer.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, it ended with a fade out, you know, it's always a good sign. Exactly. All right, so in the setup we just used a little bit of modular over here. And then of course all the banging effects, the radio, and all the touching and spring type of things you heard all come from the field kit that I have over here. Okay, so the main thing you heard was a contact microphone that is connected to a spring over here. No, I turned it up. Is it this one? Yeah, okay, there we go. It's nicely overdriven. So there's a spring connected to the field kit, the channel 1, which is connected to a contact microphone that we just put into the spring. And then since the field kit is built up out of a few building blocks, in the middle you have the mixer over here, which has 4 channels with 4 inputs. Next to that you have an envelope follower that we use in this setup to take the sound from the kick drum and to tune the radio, which sounds like this. Wait. So it goes very quickly through the different channels, so it's mainly noise. You can also do it very slow and use it yourself too. Why would you even still play, you know, when you can just do this? I don't know if they would believe me if I would patch my modular to this though. So yeah, it has a FM, AM, and shortwave radio that you can use with search functions. It has a little DC interface. Just put in the background, you know. Guys, but the radio noise is super usable. You know, if ever your noise source fails, just turn the AM on and you're all good. So we have a little DC interface at the farthest end on the left, where you can plug in any type of signal over here. You can attenuate it with the intensity knob over there, and then you can power solenoids and DC motors. So it does PWM and it does DC, and then you can, for instance, hit a little spring. Maybe we should make that. It's as best as I can do it. And of course, because you're hitting a spring, you can also touch the spring, or touch it just a little bit. So now we have it hooked up to the sequencer here. We're just sending gate signals, and then you can just jank against things. You can of course also do that against wood or whatever you please, to a bass guitar or a guitar or a piano, you know, that still has strings. We have a DC motor also, which is a little, you know, motor that turns around. But we couldn't find it in the luggage, unfortunately. Else, like, yeah. So yeah, well, it wasn't TSA this time around. But then you can, for instance, use motors, but also power bricks and stuff with these electromagnetic pickups. We can check if we can find something in the neighborhood that makes nice sounds. Oh, that was not me. Like a power supply usually is really good for this. Right, so, let me find. Or telephone. I just put mine on flight mode. Wait, we have the time, right? Let's see if we pick something up. I should have tried this before, because if it doesn't work now, of course. I hear noises. Very nice. You're currently listening to my screen. But it works really well if you have, for instance, a nice little DC motor that you spin at a certain tempo of a certain cycle, and then you'll pick up the motor starting up, going down, and you can make these nice. Works really well also with like massagers, you know, vibrators. Hey guys, really, this thing you can go as far as you want with it. It of course is fully set to be used with contact microphones and with this type of little gadgets, but you can also of course use it with any type of modular signal, and you can use it to plug your little noisemakers into. And we just wanted to make a small little box that makes experimentation with like anything more fun. Over here on the right we have a signal interface, which consists out of a switch interface. Is on the top. You can plug in a switch or a ball switch or a tilt switch. Thanks, Robert. He designed it, by the way, this part. And then you can transfer those signals into two different types of signals. One, a ramp or a square wave trigger. You can set the length of that. You can set it also if you want to have it short or long. So you can use it also to, you know, mount it next to your door, and every time somebody comes in, something happens. So it's nice for installations and for like fun art projects. And here in the bottom then we have the analog sensor interface, where you can plug in a bunch of like simple sensors and translate those outputs of the output of those into control voltage signals. The best thing about this little machine is the fact that over here it has an auxiliary out, which is the most basic feature, but you know, this way you can plug in any type of effect you want into the aux chain and just freak out. The field kit will be available from March onwards. We will deliver it as such, as a finished device. By the way, the box that it's in right now is rather ugly. This is the official box that it will be shipped in. I'll put it next to it, because then you see, yeah, you know, what it will be like. German quality. And it will also, you can also decide to get an expansion pack with it, which is a DC motor, a push-pull solenoid, contact microphones, you know, and play around with it. Hey, we have already stood inside this room for quite a bit together, you know. Are there any people here that already backed for the field kit? Thank you. Thanks so much, guys. Super awesome. Yeah. That's really great to hear. Also at NAMM we met a lot of people also that ordered one and are very much looking forward to be using it. Somebody told us he wants to mount it to the construction of a rocket carrier for NASA and record the sounds of the thing while it very slowly transports the rocket towards its launch position. Any idea, like I said earlier, is you know, you can kind of achieve it with it. Oh, this brings me to a whole other point. Free shit. There is a raffle machine over there, and you can get a ticket while you get a free beer to win a Commander. Exactly over there, you know, just go all there, get a ticket, the Commander. I wish I could show it to you. Right, let's turn the telephone off. Wait. Let's go back to the radio. I just found this great channel. Well, anyways, it's probably the rain from the last days. And the fact that I'm not using an antenna. Okay. I think that's pretty much all of it with the field kit. I forgot to tell that it also has an LFO, which is extra control, which is always nice. What does not have an LFO, but that has a lot of sliders, is the complex sequencer. Is the machine over here. I just take the liberty. I'm sorry. And my colleague Christian will tell you a bit more about it.
It's me again. So the complex sequencer is a four-fold CV gate sequencer with MIDI functionality, and it's 4 times the same sequencer called ABCD, easily distinguishable by a row of 16 sliders, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then below these sliders you'll find RGB push buttons that can change color depending on which function you want to set. So, for example, gate, as we know it, is color blue. Sorry, it's a bit loud. Very simple. Then we have the sequence start point here, where you can change. So, for example, now I have set an 8-step sequence. So after the 8th step, it reverts back to the first one. We have now all gates set for simplicity. And I could look at the sequence start point, which is now on step 1. And since I'm playing an 8-step sequence, it will not play the 9th step, but go back to the first one. But if I put the sequence start point to 8, let's see what happens. So now it's playing from step 9 to step 16. And now what we could do, so one of the best things about the complex sequencer is that each of the 4 sequences has a fully featured patch bay with 20 patch points, DCBA, where you can access all the features that you can access with your hands, also with a cable. So why not take another sequencer and sequence that start point? I'll just stop this quickly. It distracts me. So I'll show you this quickly. We are sequencer B. So now I plugged in this, basically this slider here, because sequencer D is now stopped. And I took the CV output of sequencer D to put it into sequence start point here. And now all of the CV inputs, they are 0 to 5 volts. So now if I set this sequencer D to 5 volts up here, I'm actually on the wrong side, I feel. Then I can change the sequence start point like all the way around. And now if we CV that, we can get, without moving a finger, we can get a very complex sequence out of it. And now putting the modulating sequencer to random, we get like an endless melody out of it. Okay, only one of the many features of the complex sequencer. Let's stop this again here. The other functions that you can access easily here is glide. You can set glide. Let's let it run again. You can set the glide per channel, so I could just add a bit of glide here and there. I can take steps away and add them back in. And last but not least, I can add repeats. But I did that during the show, so I'm going to show you that on sequencer C, which was this guy here. if it's still on. So as you can see, I hope, what's doing this noise here? It's you. This sequence is running at quarter notes, and I can go to the repeat page and I can set repeats. So right now all the buttons, all the steps that have a green light on, they have 2 steps, so I can actually go 8 notes or even more on this sequence if I like to just be programming in repeats. For example, so that's called ratcheting repeats. So the more repeats I program per step, it repeats it within the step. If I change this mode, it's possible too. It will just like sort of dummy repeat them one after the other. Which is also cool, but musically not always so interesting. Okay, so these are the main, I would say the main features of the complex sequences. So you can have, you have access to gate, sequence, start point, glide, your steps, the repeats. Then there's the mode menu in which we are right now, where you can set a couple of things like the MIDI functionality, the MIDI channels, how it reacts to taken away steps, like skipped steps. And then, like said, up here is the patch bay, where you can access all the features as well. Each sequencer has a quantizer on board. And last but not least, there's the CV recorder here in the middle, on which you can record up to 7 banks of CVs, store them, and then use them later if you run out of sequences. So I tried to make it quickly, just give you a quick demo, and if anyone has questions later, then we're going to do a large QA in the end. But now I want to give my dear Robert Kunz the microphone to let him explain the power supply and the cases to you.
Hello. These wonderful connectors, because we've tried to actually build kind of like a modular case in that sense. So this is, so of course you don't see it in the camera, this is like a single row of like 84 HP space for modules. And the cool thing is, you can like connect these, so you are not like stuck with one row of modular, but you can actually build like a really big setup. So here it's 3 rows, and we will have like these 45-degree angled connectors, but we will also have like 30-degree angled and also straight connectors. So I could also like just mount this one up here and like 5 more, or yeah, exactly. And so they will come like as these single rows with like nice little covers, threaded strips, and then you can like additionally buy these like connector sets. And if you don't want to use any like screwdrivers to mount these, we will also have them with these. No, I can't move that there, with these wing screws, so you can actually like mount and unmount it without any additional tools, which is kind of handy. And then, of course, you need some power to actually power up your modules, and therefore we built this new power system. And like in the module, consists like out of this active module that you see down here and up there, with these nice green LEDs. And they show us actually that we are not using all the power that the module could provide us, because if you would run into the limits of these power modules, these LEDs would first turn orange, and then if you're actually over the limit, they would turn red, so you know that you have kind of rearranged your system or buy another power module. And so, but you just, you probably don't want to only power one row, so we came up with like a simple solution to actually connect one of these active modules to multiple passive modules, like this one here, which is connected through this nice little cable over here. So you could power more than one row, like 2, as we do it right here. And so the power, so like the amperage of each rail is like 1.5 amps on the positive rails and 1 amp on the -12 rail. So it's more than enough to power like a setup like this. Exactly. That's it pretty much. Wait, no. Yeah, here we have like basically the same power system, but not like in a module form, but as like a single board version. And this is especially made for people that like building their own cases. I mean, there are still like a lot of DIYers in the Eurek scene. And so if you don't want to waste any space with like a power module, you can just take this little nice board, connected with one of these like let's say input modules, but you can also mount them on the side of your case. And we will offer these like in different form factors, so it will not like only be this Eurek form factor, but like small tiles that you can like mount wherever you want. And then of course we have these bus boards to actually distribute the power to the separate modules. Exactly.
Ripple voltage
is super low. No, like we, of course, like during development, we kind of like compared it with other existing power solutions for Eurek, and I can guarantee that we are, yeah, well below all the other ones. I mean, on the full load, it's less than 20 millivolts, while, for instance, the well-known Meanwhile power bricks, they have like more than 100 millivolts. And so we've managed to really build like a super clean audio power supply.
Everybody's still alive after the power. I think that moves us straight into the Q&A. Does anybody have any questions? Good one. Field kit is going to be a retail price right now at $219 US, 219. I think it's around $50 for the expansion pack, $60 in dollars. I think in euros, unfortunately. I know that this one is $1650, the complex sequencer, 1,650, and the cases will be $99 for one row. And the power system we will get, the modules at least, will be around $120 US. We currently have this DIY store in Berlin, and that's why we wanted to also give people that want to start DIYing like a very easy entrance into building their own case. So, getting the first case together. That's why we want to keep it as low as possible. Yeah. Anybody else?
Can you modulate the radio channel?
Yes. With the built-in LFO, you can just put it into the search input and go through the radio channels.
Should your one-speed board get the sequence, you can put your favorite stations on faders next to each other, so you do the sequence length to 1, and then you can just go through it.
Yeah, you can use the sequencer as a very expensive tuner. The fact that it's possible is, I think the fact that it's possible is that you should at least try once. So that's what we did as well. We have not limited the shortwave band, so you can go, you can pick up the number stations, and you can pick up all the weird stuff. There's resistors on the inside where you can actually change. We also marked them on the board that you could change, and then you can kind of make your range smaller if you would like to. Depends on also where you live. If you use shortwave in Asia, it's a lot different than here in the States or in Europe. So we try to give everybody the whole range so they can kind of play around with themselves a bit and see, what fits best for what they want to do. Yeah. Far out. Well, I haven't heard that one in a while. It's awesome.
Does the power supply do 5 volts or just 12?
The KOMA power supply. Yeah, it does -12 +12 and 5. Yes, exactly. And how many amps on the 5?
1.5.
1.5 amps. Keep them coming. Yes, there will be a Eurorack panel for the field kit that you can buy additionally, and it's very easy because you just screw off all the jacks, lift off this panel, put on the Eurorack panel, switch the jumper on the back, put the power cable in, and it works. So far, actually, it's very easy. All the answers, it's very quick. It goes constantly smoothly. Yeah. Does anybody have a question for Benjamin on our production manager? Like, if you want to know, for instance, like how does a machine, how is it built? You know, he can maybe tell you something. How's it built? Yeah, very good. Yes.
I like that guy. It takes a lot of time, a lot of screws.
It's a lot of screwing. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Gossip. We can do gossip as well, you know. Maybe we know something that you want to know, you know, about something. Yeah. Oh, very good question. 84 HP. We're gonna make a 42 HP version as well. So for smaller setups. So it's yeah. You can start small and get gradually addicted. That's the idea.
How much for the 42 HP?
Since these will be 99 bucks, I would say the 42 HP. I don't have the official number yet, but I would say it will be around 59 bucks then. Yeah. That's an educated guess. Good. If there's no more questions. You've seen who we are. If you have any question that you don't want to ask in public, but you want to ask in private, just ask us, you know. And to kind of give a good background to the beer drinking and meeting each other, I would like to present you with the present elders, our friends from Chicago. And I would like to thank you all for coming. Much love from all of us, and enjoy your evening.